morning, Lionhearts. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you had a great Christmas. I had a great Christmas. We're gonna take off from Memphis, Tennessee today, and we're gonna head down to Mississippi. Last time I was here, I tried to get a tour of the Jerry Lee Lewis Ranch, and I just couldn't. That one day I went was the only day that they couldn't do it. So we're gonna do it today, and I'm wearing a different pair of sunglasses, so you know that today is a special Patreon sunglass vlog. It's from Matthew Hendrickson. I hope you enjoy this, Matthew. I hope you're a fan of Jerry Lee Lewis, the killer, the man who gave us great balls of fire and gave us a whole lot of shaking going on. Daze with Jordan the Lion, it begins right now. And for some odd reason, the rental car gods graced me with a Dodge Daytona Charger for this trip with a Hemi engine. And baby, can you feel it. Now let's hit the road to Mississippi. By Elvis Presley Boulevard. Even though I say we're going to another state because we're going to Nesbitt, Mississippi, it's only 22 minutes away. There's the Welcome to Mississippi sign. All right, we have arrived. I tried this once before, and I knew someday I would get to do this, and today is the day. We have it scheduled for today, and probably a blessing in disguise because we'll get to see the house dressed up for Christmas time, which I can see already from here. There's a few things, some wreaths on the door, some ribbons. Check this out. Native of Faraday, Louisiana, Jerry Lee Lewis started his musical career in nearby Natchez, and in 1973 established the Lewis Ranch here in Nesbitt. Lewis 1956 rock and roll classic. Whole lot of shaking going on, and great balls of fire both topped the country charts and a streak of dozens of country hits starting in 1968, including #1 records To Make Love Sweeter for You, There Must Be More to Love Than This, and Would You Take Another Chance on Me. You can see the gates opening right now. Here we go.
The bricks, if you see how a lot of them are different colors, the bricks are ones that were in the Chicago fire. So that's the bricks used to build this house. The man that built it, he also built airplane hangars. And go through the front door here. A lot of people like to get their picture at the steps. If y'all like to, I'd be happy to take your pictures.
Here we are, Jerry Lee Lewis's house. I actually love that he has these little guys right out in front. Aren't those great? I can't believe we're actually here getting ready to tour his house. She said he's here very often. Actually, part of the house is closed off for his living quarters. You can see the little swing out here and Jerry's wheelchair ramp. Can you imagine living across the street from Jerry Lee Lewis? And take a look at this as you enter the front. You can see there's a J down here and an L right there. Jerry's porch rocking chair. Here we go.
That was Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, oh really?
That was Dennis Quaid, the guy who played the part in his movie.
Of course.
So,
is he looking for you or Jerry?
He's looking for me. That's very random.
Here we go. $1 Million Quartet.
All right, and if y'all would like to sign the guest book, it's right there. Jerry does read them.
Gotta sign the guest book, so there's mine.
So, when Jerry was recording this album on Sire, which is also where the Ramones and Madonna recorded,
yeah,
he wanted to take a picture on that couch. So, had two people come in, carry the couch outside by the lake out there, snap a picture, and that's how we have that.
The Youngblood couch, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's the Youngblood album, as you can see.
So, Key to the City, yeah, that's neat. I mean, he has a few of those, different cities, but the city jail, I don't know anybody else that has one of those.
How true is the story with him going up to Elvis's house and wanting to shoot Elvis?
Okay. Okay. So, I will tell you the true story of how that happened. It's partially true, as a lot of things are. There's some truth, some fiction. Elvis actually called Jerry Lee And he said, Jerry, I need a friend, I want to talk. So Jerry said, well, okay, I'll come on over. So Jerry stopped at Hernando's Hideaway on the way, which is a honky tonk. And he stayed there for a couple of hours till about 4 in the morning. And then Elvis, he did leave and he went to Graceland. Well, you know, after being at Hernando's Hideaway till nearly 4 in the morning, you know, your driving skills aren't the best. So he did ram his car into the gates of Graceland, and the guard came over to his car. And the guard said, well, who are you? And Jerry Lee said, well, I'm a killer. And they opened the door, and Jerry's gun fell out of the side of the door. And they said, well, what are you going to do with that? And he said, being a total smart aleck, well, shoot Elvis, of course. And that's the true story of how that happened. So
that is so funny.
Totally sarcastic, but they didn't think it was none too funny. So I guess everybody in here can agree that Jerry Lee's music is totally just out of this world, right?
Absolutely.
Well, it's literally out of this world. His music has been played on the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that was presented to him. It was Apollo, I believe Apollo 16. Yeah. Or no, I'm sorry, Apollo 14. He was presented with that. It was Great Balls of Fire, and that flag has been back and forth to the moon. So he was presented with that. That's one of the greatest honors I think anybody could ever have.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah, that's incredible. We have several stacks of them, and whatever ones Jerry wants out, those are the ones we put out for the day.
Oh, you swap the suit jackets that frequently?
We do.
Wow.
We do, yep. This was when he played Viva Las Vegas.
That's really cool.
We like to have ones that we do have pictures of him playing in.
Mm-hmm.
But this was Viva Las Vegas about 3 years ago. A huge rockabilly weekender in Vegas. This one was at the Chicago Riot Fest because Jerry Lee Lewis is punk rock. Jerry Lee Lewis started punk rock. There was a mosh pit that broke out during his show there, and he loved it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, he said that was one of the most enthusiastic audiences he's ever seen. So, so yeah, that's very cool. If you see a random coffee cup, which that's mine, obviously, but if you know,
yeah,
this is a house that's lived in. So, just you know, and this is also where we have Thanksgiving, where we have Christmas. Lots of memories here.
Yeah. Is there a story to the wall mural?
You know, I always say the mural, it's beautiful. There's absolutely no story. It was there when the house was bought. Jerry bought it in '71. It was there when they built the house, they put the mural there. And that was that. Yeah, there's no specific town that it is. It's just a beautiful mural. Now that church pew, that actually came from the church of his wife down in Mississippi. So that's where the church pew's from.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then over here we've got, I always thought this was a really cool picture, Manchester, England in 1977, just looking like a total badass, you know? Two fans.
Two fans, yeah. Mick and Keith.
Right.
That's great. There's Ron Wood.
Current voice of Scooby-Doo painted that and gave it to him.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I shoved a little Scooby-Doo head down there. But that he's a huge fan, and that was presented to Jerry. Over here,
the Killer's Mistletoe.
Killer's Mistletoe. These are all given to him by family and friends. Little watches, pianos. He loves old cars. But these were all gifts given to him by fans and friends, family. He's given artwork. He loves to display it, you know, hence the Scooby-Doo, and this was given to him by a fan in 1984. Somebody actually crayoned that, so.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Yeah, for sure. But he loves to display it. He loves his fans so much, so. He's always very proud of that. Through these doors, this is where no photography is allowed.
Okay.
But up until we go through here. So now this, we've got Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, the king of rock and roll, and then we've got Elvis. So you see what I did there? The king of rock and roll, and then Elvis. So this right here is the $1 Million Quartet, which is what they call this, the $1 Million Quartet album. So there are only 4 of them ever made, gold albums. There's only 4 ever made. One of them Carl Perkins' family has. The other one the Johnny Cash Museum has, but it's not on display. Elvis Presley Enterprise has the 3rd one. They're also not displaying it, so this is the only place you can actually see this.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool. I keep trying to mention that I think we should get Jerry to hold up that picture.
Absolutely.
And then just keep going.
Life inside of a life.
Right, right. Inside of a life. How many pipes he has? I'd say probably about 600, maybe.
No kidding.
If that.
Does he use them all, or does he just like to collect them?
Everyone he owns he has used, and then he moves on. So he'll use them for a week or 2 and then just move on.
And he's a fan of the Peabody Ducks?
He is. This desk was actually given to him by the Peabody.
I was wondering because I saw that little plaque. That's such a cool place.
Yeah. Oh, it is beautiful. If he ever has like a staycation, that's always where he goes. So these are 2 of his best friends. We've got Ron Wood over here also, but Ray Charles and Fats Domino, they were 2 of his very best friends. So that's a really cool picture, I believe. Back in 1982, Jerry had it was like a 3-inch tear in his stomach. The doctors, they rushed him to the Methodist South up here, and the doctor said, "You're not going to make it." And he said, "Well, I want to see Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash." So they had like a private jet that flown them from California to Memphis to see Jerry, and he's like, "Well, I'm done with rock and roll. If I ever get out of here, I'm doing nothing but gospel. I'm going back to preaching." You know, because Jerry Lee went to Bible college. And I'm going back to preaching. I'm done. 2 weeks later, he was back to rock and roll. So you can't take rock and roll out of rock and roll. It just doesn't happen. That was his absolute most precious little puppy. There's another picture of him with Topaz. Very sweet little guy. They're part Chihuahua and part Doberman Pinscher. And one of them has 2. The girl is named Little Judith. The boy is named Little Jerry Lee.
Of course.
So, you know, it's so funny to see Jerry Lee say, "Come here, Little Jerry Lee."
So now we have a little section that we're not going to show you, so you'll have to come take the tour for that.
Y'all know the story behind Breathless, so it wouldn't sell. It was a great song, but it wouldn't sell because it was so hard to dance to, because it had so many stops when he would go, breathless, and then it threw everybody off beat. So they made a deal with Dick Clark in Beech Nut Chewing Gum, where if you sent in 5 Beech Nut Chewing Gum wrappers, you get a free autographed copy of Breathless. It was really a rubber stamp, but the stamp was put on by Jerry Lee himself. So that's that. Plaques over here, this is actually Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
And Danny B. Harvey, and then Slim Jim from the Stray Cats. So always thought that was a pretty legendary picture. Heck
yeah.
Who wears flip-flops at Sun Studio? Jerry Lee Lewis does, that's who. So I think that's just such a fun picture. There's actually a funny story behind that. The 50 Years of Rock and Roll, they wanted Jerry Lee Lewis to play. And what they were celebrating 50 years of is when Elvis walked into Sun Studio. And they called Jerry Lee and they said, "Jerry, we're doing 50 Years of Rock and Roll."
He's wearing that jacket.
Yeah, oh yeah, he sure is. So they called Jerry and they're like, "We want you to play the 50 Years of Rock and Roll Festival." And he said, "Well, what's the 50 years of?" And they said, "When Elvis walked in the Sun Studio." And he said, "Okay, well, call me back when it's 50 years of Jerry Lee Lewis rock and roll, or Jerry Lee Lewis, because I am rock and roll." This man changed the world. If it weren't for Sam Phillips, there would be no Jerry Lee Lewis. There'd be no Elvis. There'd be no... The world would be completely different. A cousin, Sherry Jacobs, actually is the mayor of Faraday, and she opened up this museum. It's totally free. You can give them donations if you'd like, but it's completely free. Has music just of the Delta area. So Jerry, Mickey Gilley, Jimmy Lee Swaggart, tons of other folks. So very cool if you find yourself in Faraday. Redid the Neither Nor Quartet pretty much, but you know, they replaced Elvis with Roy. But a very cool album. And of course that's Last Man Standing Live. He did that with several people. One of them was Kid Rock. And out of all the people he recorded with, he talked about Kid Rock the most. He said that he loved that he was so enthusiastic. Kid Rock would jump on his piano.
Oh, really?
And,
cool.
Yeah, he said he reminded him a lot of himself. So Jerry loves his pinball, but it does work. It's in working order, and he does play it. So, and here, you know, I'm gonna close this a little so the sun's not glaring. It's hard for pictures. So there we go.
His bar.
That's his bar. Yeah, can you imagine all the parties that happen behind that bar and in front of that bar?
How many people were probably threatened with a gun?
Yeah. And this guitar was actually recently given to him by a very good friend who is, the friend is very good friends with John Schneider, Bo Duke.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the guitar that was used in the movie Doonby. And it was signed and then given to Jerry by a very good friend. He's an art teacher up in New York, so I think that one's fun. Actual gold records that he was presented with the success that he would when he sold 1 million copies. More gold records. It's just amazing how many he has. Now that Holy Bible over there, that was actually father's and his grandfather's. So his grandfather's passed down to his father, then passed down to Jerry. So, and it's so brittle, so I don't pick it up, but it's all of their names are in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that picture is actually from the Youngblood album, so I think that's always a fun picture there.
I love seeing his stocking there.
Yeah. And you know, I love that picture. I think it's just such a like rock and roll picture.
For sure.
I want so badly for them to get one made that's actually velvet, because everybody has a velvet Elvis, but having a velvet Jerry Lee, and it would be so cool, I think.
Oh, Myra gave him that?
Yep, that was given to him in 1958 for Christmas one year. So it's got a built-in record player and TV. That's the only one like that I've ever seen. So.
Does it still work?
To my understanding, yes. I am scared to death to plug it in and try it, but I am told it still works.
And of course, you were telling us that he loved Gene Autry.
Yeah, and this actually has the album in it, or the record. The 78, so very old, but it's still has the record, still in great condition. So. The piano. Very, very cool. He does play it if there's an event going on. When Jimmy Swaggart and Mickey Gilley were over here, Jimmy actually played Amazing Grace, and I don't think there was a dry eye in this room. It turned into a snot fest real fast.
That's so neat to see. I love that he still plays all the time.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
For people that didn't get to see in this video, you took us and showed us a little bit of his private room through the door, and he has a keyboard even to this day in there, right in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And a couple of bullet holes above his bed.
Right. So, yeah, very cool. That's a little, little Christmas scene, little village, so part of the Christmas decor. This is only, once a year you get to see that. Take it.
We're getting a little photo op here.
Yeah.
Can't believe I'm sitting at the Killer's piano. Oh, who am I kidding? At least one note. I did it. Okay, so you proved it does work.
It
okay.
does work.
All right, now we're taking the tour outside.
All right, so this is the back patio. It's been really, really, really windy the past few days, so that's why there's leaves here. But if you'll look around on the ground, you probably will find bullet shells.
Oh! Are those fan friendly?
You know what? Take one.
Awesome. So that's where the Youngblood photo was taken. Do you know exactly where they put the couch?
So the couch was put right there on that little hill right there, and you see the lake house in the background. Oh, and there's some geese in the pond also right now. Those weren't on the album.
That's great.
The geese, they weren't there. Weddings happened.
2 of 7 weddings happened?
2 of 7, yep.
How much land does he have here?
Oh, a whole lot. It goes way back further than what it looks like.
You said he used to have horses here for many years, huh?
He did, back there, yep. It used to be fenced in, and it goes way further back than it looks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that little knot up there, for years I thought that was a cypress knee, until I recently, just within the last few months, learned that is a fountain.
Where, this over here?
Right there. You see the knot sticking out
Oh,
of the pond?
oh yeah, okay.
Little pet cemetery. Topaz is here. If you, all their names are on the little plaques, but if you see, all of his pets and all of his children all have the middle name of Lee.
That's my last name. I'm with him on that, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, it's a piano-shaped swimming pool.
I can't think of anybody else in the world that has one of those either.
I just noticed this. If you look right down there on that little log, he's got like a target. Looks like he's been doing some target practice. Right there.
But he's got a huge sign outside, or he had, it's behind the barn now, but it says, God made animals, love them, don't kill them. So he is a huge animal lover.
And speaking of, I was just looking at this. I love seeing his little doggy door.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Little topaz doggy door.
Aww.
Big animal lover. I love the wallpaper.
Yeah, you know, every wife he's had has hated the wallpaper, and Jerry Lee says, no, the wallpaper stays. So
I'm with you, Jerry Lee, if you see this. Oh, and happy birthday. Belated birthday.
yeah, that is actually the box from the party. Never seen one.
Yeah, I've never seen a red sink either.
Yeah, this is the sink that was in the house. There used to be a red refrigerator right here. Stove, it still works. I cooked a Hot Pocket in it the other day. Very workable.
I love the sign on the fridge. We're with the band.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that sign, that was actually on the back of his dressing room door at BB King's in New York.
So I'm actually going to buy a shirt, and I'm going to buy this poster, and she's going to take it over to Jerry Lee and have him sign it for me. But she's going to ship it back to me so that I don't have to take it on the plane. That'll be a great one to hang on my wall. And Matthew, your sunglasses are now sitting on Jerry Lee Lewis's counter. So this has been an absolutely awesome experience, and you can do it too. Just look up Jerry Lee Lewis Ranch online. It's in Nesbitt, Mississippi, and they have a calendar that you can just schedule your own tour, come walk through the killer's house, and as you heard in the vlog, she's going to get that poster signed for me, and I'm going to have a signed poster made out to me from a living legend, Jerry Lee Lewis. Here we
The
go.
last part of the tour.
Wowza!
And you leave that door open. Just kind of.
Look at that. Rolls Royce. The killer's rolls, the killer's golf cart, and the killer's bug.
So this is a 91 Rolls Royce. Still in just about perfect condition. It was given to him when he finished his Last Man Standing album. And over here, this is his wife, Miss Killer. This is her bullfighting. It's a 1969, is what I was told.
I just noticed this. There's a little plaque here for this tree, and it says, "Plum tree planted in 1978 by Elmo Kid Lewis, Jerry Lee Lewis's dad." So every time he comes out, he can remember his dad. Isn't that cool? Well, this has been an absolutely fantastic tour. I can't recommend it enough. And Jerry Lee is still alive, so who knows, you might run into him, or you can get something signed. It's so cool to see that lake house out there from being in the background of the Youngblood record. Nice. All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. Matthew Henriksen, I think you got a pretty cool vlog today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your year. We'll see you all next time. From Jerry Lee Lewis's ranch, have a great night and goodbye.